Hello, and welcome to Career and College Matters. I am your host, Dr. Mildred Charles, and I want to thank you for tuning into our show. The purpose of our show is to talk about important information surrounding today's career and college concerns. Our goal is to inform, to empower, and to inspire you, our viewing audience, with information that can actually help you to find and discover and achieve career and academic success. On today's show, I am so honored and so excited to have our wonderful guest. His name is William Pickney, and he is going to share a personal story that can actually relate to young people and our parents who are asking you to, just to hear his story. It's very inspiring. And William, I want to thank you so much for joining us.
No problem, absolutely.
Perfect. So can you tell us a little bit about your high school career experience?
Absolutely. So I'm actually from Prince George's County, George's County, Maryland. So I attended Oxon Hill High School. I'm a 2012 graduate of Oxon Hill High School. I was in the science and technology program, and my track was pre-engineering at the time. So, it was a lot of science courses, of course.
Of course.
And, I went up some levels in math, and, that was pretty much my high school experience. I was very involved, of course, student government, and I did some athletics, which, had to try it out and really enjoy my high school experience.
That's wonderful. And one thing I just got from what you just said is that you were in the science field. And so basically, if you were like studying STEM programs, can you tell us, how you got into, that particular area?
Well, I've always loved technology.
Okay.
So that's kind of why I took that route. The science and technology had some different routes, and some were more of the science direction, I guess, more of like chemistry and that type of thing. But, I took my love for technology and my interest in math, because I was really good at math.
Oh, wow.
I took those and decided I wanted to join the science and technology program and head towards the engineering track.
So basically, it sounds like you were an all-star student. I mean, athletic, your grades were good, and then, being in studying STEM programs. So tell us a little bit about what your pathway was like after high school.
So when I graduated high school in 2012, I immediately matriculated to the University of Maryland, College Park.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And there I was majoring in mechanical engineering.
Okay.
And I just want to say that it was difficult to get into the engineering school.
Absolutely.
For one, extremely difficult. And I was fortunate enough to get into it from high school.
Wow.
I had a few friends who applied to the University of Maryland and weren't accepted to the school, so they had to, take some gateway courses and, apply later on.
Yes.
So I got into it immediately, and again, academic excellence has always been important to me.
Absolutely.
I got there, and the engineering curriculum, it wore me out.
Oh, wow.
Just being honest. So my first semester was chemistry for engineers.
Okay.
Calculus for engineers.
Okay.
And some other introductory engineering courses.
Wow.
And quite frankly, I didn't do well.
Okay.
And it was a big change for me, because in high school, that's what I was used to. I was used to getting good grades. I was used to, especially the sciences and maths being a piece of cake.
Yes.
And it wasn't. So my first semester, I ended with a 1.8.
Wow.
A 1.8 GPA. And to get into the school, you cannot have anything of that sort.
Okay.
I actually graduated high school with a 3.62. Got to keep it specific.
3.62, definitely.
62, yeah. And I got a 1.8, so I was placed on academic probation.
Wow.
So, that was disappointing to me, of course. I've never experienced anything like that.
Wow.
I was used to at least honor roll at the minimum.
Honor roll, exactly.
Right,
so that must have been a shock.
So that following winter semester, I did take a course and got an A, so I was off academic probation after that.
Okay.
But then the following semester wasn't much better. I re-attempted some of the classes that I did not pass the first time, and I kind of developed a habit of dropping courses to avoid failing them. I thought, okay, well, if I drop the course, then I guess it doesn't affect my GPA, then I can't end up in the same situation I had the first time.
Wow.
And
so what do you think it was? Was it the transition into going to college, or was it the university itself, or what was it that caused some of these setbacks?
well, I kind of have a realization now, what I didn't have then. But I
Okay.
think what it is now was, I think it was the school, for one, and two, I wasn't really passionate about that major.
Okay.
I went into it because, a lot of my friends were going into engineering, and
Okay.
I thought I had a passion for engineering. With that type of degree, you have to have the mentality like, I'm going to get this engineering degree if it's the last thing I do.
Exactly.
And I wasn't that passionate about engineering.
Oh, wow.
So it took me taking, a few major switches and, a few years later to finally come up with a passion.
So, okay, that's interesting that you talk about passion, which we'll talk a little bit more about later. But I'm just curious, what did it take for you to just say, this is what I want to major in?
Well, again, I went through some major changes. Actually,
Yeah.
after engineering, I switched to art.
Okay.
And that's the complete other end of the spectrum, from going to
Okay.
engineering to art. And, I still had that passion for technology.
Okay.
So, I kind of wanted to find a happy medium.
Okay.
So, in between engineering, which is technical, and art, which is artistic, of course, you
Okay.
have film. So I kind of, I was into film in high school. Another thing I was involved in was the yearbook. And, there was a yearbook DVD, and I was kind of in charge of that. And developed a passion for film.
So you did, okay. So you were you had that, you recognized that in high school. And so I guess the other question again about your college majors, did you work with any guidance counselors? Did you, did your parents have anything to do with you declaring that as a major, or was it just more so what you saw your friends doing?
As far as engineering?
As far as engineering.
Well, probably, being in science and tech is kind of the encouraged thing, especially since I spent so much of my high school journey taking my pre-engineering courses. It was kind of, a given that I would be going to major in engineering.
Okay.
And, also it was the young mentality of mine going after the money.
Okay.
Engineering is very high paying, and of course
Yes.
I wanted that. And, my parents, they thought I could do it. So, of
Okay.
course, they supported my dream to be an engineer, a mechanical engineer.
Okay.
And I kind of went along with it.
Okay, so then when you get to College Park and you realize that, maybe something is not right or you're not really connecting with the program, how did you feel that first semester when you realized that you had, a 1.8 GPA?
After the first semester, I knew a lot of people who went to the school and who were also in the engineering program. And I knew that it was difficult. I knew it was going to be very hard. And I received a lot of encouragement from them to just keep going, because it's not the first time it's happened to someone.
Okay.
And in my head, I was ready to get out of it immediately, of
Wow.
course. But I decided to stick it through, because my friends that were in engineering, they were still going through it. And I just decided to go along with it and see where that led me.
And so at what point, so what happened after the second semester when you realized, like you said, you went back and you were still having some challenges with the program?
So after the second semester, that's when I declared my major as art.
Yes.
So I was doing really well in the art courses, of course, because I'm artistic, but something else needed to be done. Something needed to change, and I didn't know how to make that change. So I guess I can say a higher power made that change for me.
Okay.
Because with my habit of dropping courses, I lost my financial aid.
Wow.
And College Park, even though it's in-state, it's a pretty expensive school still. So we weren't able to pay out of pocket for the tuition. So that's when my options were to, try to commute to the University of Maryland, and because I'm from Maryland, and take courses, or just go to a community college and kind of get myself together at that point.
Okay. Which is very interesting that, you talk about a community college experience. So did you actually end up going to a community college?
I did. So, and I actually enrolled about, I'd say, a week before classes started, because I was very reluctant to go to the
Okay.
community college. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to go back to my school that I worked hard to get into.
Exactly.
But I ended up going to Prince George's Community College, and again, I was still in the art major at that time.
Okay.
And you know, I just, again, I was disappointed, so I took it upon myself to prove my abilities to myself and others who were watching.
Okay. That's wonderful that you were able to make that challenge to yourself. But can you talk a little bit about the reluctancy to go to a community college? What actually went, what was causing you to be reluctant?
Well, this kind of this negative image
Okay.
about community colleges, where it's especially in being my age in high school or my age as a freshman or sophomore in college. It's kind of like people look down on community colleges.
Yes,
they
they
feel like
do.
it's less than. You know,
Yes.
they feel that if you're going to college, why aren't you going to a 4-year institution?
Exactly.
And a lot of people don't realize that a community college was actually the best thing that has ever happened to me.
Wow.
Because I really, like I said, I really got myself together. You know, I figured out what I needed to change, what I liked, what I didn't like, and the direction and the path I wanted to take.
That's wonderful that you say that. And then when you talk about the positive impact that it has on that it made on your life, can you tell us what that actual experience was like for you when you were enrolled at Prince George's Community College?
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess I could just say this really quickly. I think the biggest thing that I learned from
Yes.
going to a community college was that I preferred a smaller institution.
Wow. Okay.
The University of Maryland is huge.
Yes.
Thousands and thousands and thousands of students. And when I got to Prince George's Community College and I was in class with, maybe 20 other
Okay.
people,
Okay.
which was very different from, my engineering or my math courses at the University of Maryland, where there are 200, 300, maybe even 400 students in one
Wow.
class. You're able to build a connection with your instructors. You're able to meet staff who actually know you and care about you and can, help develop you and push you in the direction that you need to go into.
So that's wonderful. So did you find that the smaller class size worked better for you? Is that basically what your
Yeah.
experience was like?
Yeah, I think the smaller class size worked better, but of course I also went into Prince George's Community College with a different mentality overall.
Okay.
I knew that I was going to put everything I had into these classes and I was going to come out successful.
Okay. And that's because of that challenge that you made to yourself.
Exactly.
Now, can you talk a little bit about what your parents were feeling? Here it is, every parent is going to be proud
Right.
of their child if they're enrolled in College Park. It is a wonderful university, especially somebody such as yourself, honors roll, and then you go in and then you have this experience. How did they handle that transition?
Well, my parents were always very supportive of me.
That's good.
I think my parents were more so happy that I was continuing
Okay.
to go. They were with me throughout my whole journey and my downfall. And I think in many cases, someone would experience what I did and just decide, I'm done. I'm just not going to do it
Okay.
anymore. And they were proud that I decided to just bite the bullet, suck it up, just go to Prince George's Community College, and I'll just keep on pushing.
Okay. And so when you got to the college and you realized that, the smaller class sizes worked for your personality, your learning style, tell us, what did you gain from the experience itself? Like, how has it impacted you as a person?
So while I was there, I was very involved. And that's one thing I kind of lacked when I went to the University of Maryland. I wasn't as involved.
Okay.
And I know that involvement kind of helps with my academics in a way
Okay.
that I can't really articulate. But I was involved in a scholarship program where they developed leadership and a program called Diverse Male Student Initiatives, which is also geared towards the empowerment and the leadership of males.
And this was a program within the college itself?
That was at Prince George's Community College.
Okay. Okay.
So that type of involvement really helped to develop me more as well.
Okay. And so when you got enrolled in this program, and you said it helped develop you, what were some activities that you did in this program?
So with the scholarship program that was in the Hillman Entrepreneurs Program,
Okay.
and that's what it was called, we were required to take certain courses, as part of the curriculum. One of the courses that I took was leadership development.
Okay.
And that course was difficult, very difficult, and you actually hear a lot of people who have gone through the program say how difficult that class is, but how it really prepares you for how strenuous the University of Maryland is. So that was another class that really prepared me and allowed me to be even more prepared for my next academic journey, I guess you can say.
Okay, that's wonderful. And speaking about your next academic journey, so your GPA at the college was, what was that?
My first semester there, I believe I got a 3.8.
Oh, wow.
And
so
coming
you
from
bounced back,
coming from a 1.8 to a
3.8.
3.8.
Wow.
I was doing a little something there, and the following semester I did again above a 3.5,
Wow.
and it was Dean's List all the way through.
Okay.
And yeah.
That's wonderful. So you got your mojo back, like
Right.
they would say. All right. So then, so did you end up graduating at Prince George's Community College, or did you go somewhere else, or?
Yeah, I did. I graduated. I got my associate's degree in general studies.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. One of the requirements of the scholarship program that I was in was that we had to graduate within 2 years.
Okay.
And with me still being an art major, I kind of it would have took me a little longer, so I changed to general studies just so I can graduate that semester and get my associates.
Okay.
Yes.
So you earned the associates, and then what happened after that part of your life?
So my primary goal since high school was to still get my bachelor's degree.
Okay.
So it was good to know that I got my associates, but I wanted to keep on going after I graduated, and I actually ended up going to Clark-Atlanta University.
Oh, wow.
And that's where I am now.
wonderful.
So, it was 2 years at the University of Maryland, 2 years at Prince George's Community College, and now I'm in my second year at Clark-Atlanta University.
Okay.
And I'm a senior.
And you're a senior,
Yes.
so that's awesome. So it sounded like that challenge that you made to yourself was really what fueled this journey. And I'm curious, so how is this experience for you at Clark-Atlanta University?
It's going amazing because I'm keeping that mentality that I kind of created when I took my first semester at Prince. My goal is to do my absolute best. So now I'm at a point where I'm kind of on a 4.0 streak.
Wow.
So the 3.8s and the 3.5s were cool, but this past spring semester I got my fourth 4.0 in a row.
Okay.
And again, it's been Dean's List consecutively, and I want to continue down my path for my last 2 semesters at Clark-Atlanta University before I graduate next spring.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you look at yourself now and the student that you were when you were at College Park, what is the difference?
I think the difference is, well, one, being in a major that I'm passionate about.
Okay.
Just deciding to go for what I love and for what I feel is in my heart, not really considering what anybody else feels is absolute best for me. And my biggest thing when I was at College Park is that I struggled with motivation.
Okay.
And I guess that also has to do with your passion.
Yep.
If you're not passionate about something, then what motivates you to get through it? You know what I mean?
That's a very good point.
So it's like now I'm in this major that I like, and I decided on Clark-Atlanta University using the things I realized that I liked at Prince George's Community College.
Okay.
And I felt like I'm in a good place, and finally in the right place.
In the right place. And it all happened by resetting your resetting your path in a sense, doing something where you didn't want to do, but here it is, you found your path in a sense. And you talked about passion, and you talked about bouncing back. What would you tell other young people who may not feel like they want to go to the community college because of those negative stigmas that you talked about? What would you say to them?
I would tell them that a community college is a good place of transition. It's a good place to go while you figure out what exactly you want to do and where you want to go. And there's nothing wrong with that, and you save money and you save time, and it's good to just go there while you figure out, okay, do I want to go for my bachelor's degree, or am I fine with an associate's, or do I want a certificate?
Yes.
And you get to figure out okay, do I want to do this major or do I want to, you know what I mean? Like it's just a good place to go to figure your life out, pretty much.
To explore your
Yeah,
options,
pretty much.
basically.
Mhm.
Explore your options and realize, in your case, that you can do it. You got
Right.
your confidence back, and you were
Mhm.
able to set, to go about your educational career. And I just want to commend you. It's such a wonderful, inspiring story. You're helping our young people, our parents, realize that, that it can be done.
Right.
So I want to thank you so much for being a special guest on our show. I'd like to know if you want to, any final remarks you'd like to say to our viewing audience.
Well, I would say that it's okay to have to restart. Just keep going. At one point, you were so passionate about this degree, in high school, and you really want to go to college and graduate, and you kind of have to revive that passion, even after a downfall or the trials and tribulations that you go through. It's okay, sometimes you take a few steps back to take even more steps forward. So just keep going and get that degree you want.
All right. Thank you again, William, for joining us today. And I want to thank you, the viewing audience, for staying with us. We're going to take a little break and come back to our Consider This segment. So please stay tuned.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes, and you come to mine. This is it. First impression. My way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
Welcome back to Career and College Matters. I'm your host, Dr. Mildred Charles, and in this segment, we're going to be talking about the benefits of attending a community college. As we just learned from our guest, William Pickney, who, by the way, is going to be graduating in May of 2018 from Clark Atlanta University. We want to congratulate him in advance. I wanted to just share quickly my quick story. Very similar, almost similar, in that when I had to realize I needed to go to a community college, I was dead set against it. Absolutely not. You're not going to catch me dead at that community college or the 13th grade. But it actually ended up being one of the best decisions I made in my life. And in this segment, I want to talk to you about the benefits, some of the myths, and so we could talk about why it's not a bad thing to attend a community college. In fact, it actually is a good thing. So what is a community college? Consider this. A community college basically is a non-residential junior college that actually offers courses to people who are living in a particular area. And as you can see, the word junior college is highlighted because that is the whole point. That's what they were started. When they first started, they were called junior colleges. In fact, Juliet Junior College in Illinois is the oldest existing public 2-year college. It was actually established in 1901, and as you can see, the word junior is still kept in the original form instead of it being called Juliet Community College. It's an affordable way to pursue a post-secondary education, post-secondary being, an education beyond high school. So why do community colleges get a bad rap? What is the problem? What is up with all these negative stereotypes? Well, let's talk about some of these myths. There's about 5 myths. Actually, there's more, but we're going to just cover the 5. The source that we're getting this information from is scholarship.com. The first myth is that it's only the 13th grade. We've all heard that. I've used it, and that's not true. Well, if you're going off to college or your freshman year, anywhere is the 13th grade. Second myth is that it's not a real college because it's not traditional. It's not a four-year university. The third myth is that if it costs less to attend, well, then the quality of education must not be that great. It has to be worse. That's a myth. The fourth myth is that students who actually go to community colleges, the only reason why they're going there is because they can't get accepted anywhere else. Wrong. The fifth myth is that if you decide to switch to schools, your credits are not going to transfer. That's incorrect. So what are the benefits of attending a community college? Well, the 10 top benefits of attending a community college. The 10th one is that it's easier to work and save money. And we all want to save money. We don't want to waste our time. Going to a community college, you can basically do both. The 9th benefit is that it's skilled and, they have skilled and highly qualified faculty. Some of the faculty have PhDs, they have master's degrees, and they have the experience. The 8th benefit is the open enrollment process, where if you apply, as long as you give them your high school transcript, you should be accepted. The 7th is that it's convenient, it's local, it's right, where you live, and you can take advantage of that. The 6th benefit is that it buys a student or a young person some time to figure out what it is that they want to do. The 5th reason is the smaller class sizes. As we learned from William, if you're in a class where your professor only knows you by a number, the personal experience is not that great. The 4th benefit is that it's a great place to start your higher education. Good starting point. 3rd is that it's a great pathway to a four-year degree. So if you want to transfer, guess what? You could transfer from a community college. The second reason is provides workforce development and skills training. So if you don't want to do the 4-year thing, the 6-year thing, the 2-year thing, you can just go in and take a certification program for 18 months, and guess what? You're out into the real world. And the number one reason or number one benefit is that it's affordable. College, as we know, is very expensive, and who wouldn't want to save and still get the benefit of a great college education? So why should you care? As I conclude, the reason why you should care is, again, college is big business, and we want to be able to maximize our investment. So it is a wonderful way to save money and earn a good education, transfer if you want, or go into the workforce. So I want to thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions or any show topic ideas, you can go onto our website, www.cacmatters, and shoot us an email. We'd love to respond. And again, we look forward to seeing you on the next show. Thank you for watching.